What's up, y'all? Eric from Denver Penny Picker here. I'm just going to start off by saying it was pretty hard to find some pennies this week. There's a lot of factors going on. During when COVID hit, a huge interest in looking for varieties, which I've been doing for quite some time now, got sparked. The price of copper has gone up. Do not melt your coins, it is illegal. But the problem with copper coins, like these guys, we'll just take a plain Jane 1944 common. It's worth almost 4 cents just in copper value alone. Again, I'm going to reiterate, do not melt your coins. It is illegal. But yeah, I was able to find a few things today. I got the book here. We're doing 1909 to 1940. Now, I'm not going to keep everything in there. A lot of these coins are going to be selling and trading just so I can work on keeping this video going. I'm going to have a link in the description below on if you want to help out the channel. Also, I'm going to have my email address for the channel linked also in the description if you have any coin questions or anything like that. Or maybe if you got some pennies for sale, let me know. My email address for the channel will be down there too. So we got lots to cover today. We're going to talk about clip planchets, a few more coins for the book. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you remember all those pennies that I had in containers. I was able to fill up 71 out of 89 spots on the 1909 to 1940. And I was able to fill up two books of 1941 to 1958. I'll talk about those in a different video. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. But anyways, let's just jump into some of the stuff I found. We'll be talking Indian heads. Yeah, it's really cool. So be right back. So as you can see, this is the 1909 to 1940. Yeah, 71 out of 89 spots filled. That's pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to keep track. You know, obviously, some of the good coins I'm either going to have to trade or sell to keep the thing going. I'm going to have a link in the description posted below if you enjoy the channel, enjoy what you're seeing. I have a little setup if you want to donate to it to keep this channel going, especially if you're enjoying it. We got several things to cover today. Yeah, the couple of things to cover today. I already went through all of those pennies. I did find a few. I was able to pick up a little more than 40 Indian head cents too, which is pretty cool. One of my favorite pennies also. But yeah, I was able to find some really good coins. 11D. Let me get my reading eyes on here. I got a 21S, a 22D. We'll talk about that one in a little bit. And a 26S. And I did find another 24S worth a little bit of money. That's going to go on the trade block or eBay. But yeah, we're going to talk about that 1922 later. It was only minted in Denver, and there's a couple of different varieties out there. Only 7.1 million were made. It's kind of interesting on that in the 1922. I'll just jump right into talking about it. There's a 22D. They were all made in Denver at this time. So apparently there was a small recession during that time. And as we see today with the COVID happening and the coin shortages, well, what happens a lot of the times when stuff like that, a financial crisis or something like that, people like to hoard coins and don't spend them. Well, in 1922, they had a minor recession going on. The only exception to the coins at that point was the peace dollar. They made a buttload of them for some reason at that time. But every other coin was a lower mintage because of the recession. Well, at that time, good thing to do and save some good money was to hoard your coins. So typically with financial crisis in a country or something going on, a great example is 2008 when the housing market crashed, everything else crashed. In 2009, the U.S. Mint brought out lower mintages, and they also brought out a couple of really cool, like, special edition, especially the 2009 penny. It marked the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln Head Cent. So they made like 4 different varieties of the obverse, or not obverse, but reverse, um, just depicting different things in the lives of Lincoln, from growing up, showing his house on the back, to a picture of the White House essentially when he's president. But they were lower mintages. They ran into a time at that time where coins just weren't being spent, so they didn't mint very many. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but it also does at the same time. And as you see today, you hear about the coin shortage. Well, that's exactly why. Nobody's spending the coins, so that's why there's a coin shortage. But anyways, 1922, yeah, there's 3 different kind of varieties in there. There's a 22D, which I have, and I have found. There's a 22D weak D, which means the strike on it is not very strong, so you can see a little bit of D there. There's, like, you can find worn down 22Ds. That's not going to count as a weak D. The biggest one that you want to find is the one without a mint mark. A lot of people, even just that much knowledge of coin collecting, know about the 22P. Well, all 7.1 million coins were minted in Denver. But because of the die strikes, the die pieces where they strike the coin just wore out over time, and no more Ds were struck on the coin. So those are a little bit rare. I believe I read somewhere there's less than 10,000 of the 1922s without the mint mark, even though they were minted in Denver. But there's some interesting history on the 1922. It's a good coin. Even in good value on a good normal 1922 strike 22D, it should be a good $10 to $15 coin. You get the 22 with no mint mark, where those dies have just deteriorated completely. That's a $400 coin roughly, in just good to fine condition. So there's a huge difference there. So that's another variety on there. I was also able to find, I believe I talked about that already. The one variety we're going to talk about on this one is called a clip planchet. I did find one. They're not as rare as you think. You've probably seen them in your coin already, just in pocket change. Even today you'll find them. It'll be just a coin that looks like it has a little crescent shape or straight cut. There are people out there that try to fake those. I've studied this one probably a good 20 minutes to a half an hour, and I'm about 85% sure that it was a mint cut. So on clip planchets, what happens is they run strips of metal through where they cut out the shape of the coin, and sometimes they get misaligned, so they get a weird cut. I'll show you on one of those. I actually found one on a 1955. But now let me just kind of go through what little things I found this week. Like I said, pennies were really hard to come by, but I did find some good ones. So I purchased a couple of books along with a little bit of bulk pennies. That's like all I could find this week. But the big finds, I found a 1909 VDB in AU, which means almost uncirculated, almost uncirculated. So that means it hit circulation. Somebody found it essentially. So, man, that's a beautiful coin. I'm going to keep it, and took it out. It's got beautiful detail on there. Gorgeous coin. That's about a $15 to $25 coin. And then I found another just beat up plain Jane 1909 VDB right there. Honestly, I'd probably sell that for $1. It's a good book filler, just like those right there. Yeah, and the other ones, I found that 11D, 21S. There's that 22D, as you can see right there, that mint mark. You can see it. If you could barely see it or not see it, those are the good ones. 26S, another semi-key date, 4.5 million minted. And I found another 24S, which is another great coin to have. Now, Indian heads. So a lot of the times on Indian head pennies, there's a band on the headdress. So it's Lady Liberty with an Indian headdress on there, and I did find some pretty decent ones. Now, what I'm talking about on the headdress, right in here, if you can read Liberty, that's a good coin to keep. Even on common years, that's like a $2 to $3 coin, sometimes even more. This is a 1909. I wish it had an S Mint mark. That would be worth a lot more money. But I'm guessing this is in XF shape. I got full Liberty. The initials of the designer are right in here in the headband. And this is like a $15 to $25 coin. 1867 Indian head penny. Now this one looks pretty slick, but it's got low mintage. It's considered a semi-key in the Indian head world. I put this one in probably almost good shape. You got full, I mean, you can read the date on there. That's always a good thing, but this is not going to get G4. It's pretty slick. You can't read all of the United States of America right there, especially under camera. The back is pretty wasted. It's an old coin, you know, you got to consider this was made in 1867. What was that, 160 years ago? Even in this shape, I could probably get 10 to 15 bucks for it. This is one I think I might throw on eBay, see what I can get for it. And then I found a few other ones here that have, you can read most of Liberty or across the headbands. I got 1899, 1900, 1903, 1905, 1906, and 1907. Indian head pennies ran from 1859 to 1909. So as you can see, the transitional year, both Lincoln and Indian head pennies were made in 1909. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. They've done that in other coins too, especially in the 1982 pennies where they switched from copper cents, 95% copper, to zinc. I believe they went to 97% zinc and 2.5% copper just to coat it. But yeah, I mean, these will probably fetch $2 to $5 each. There are varieties on the Indian heads. Some of them are harder to find. I already looked for them. There's nothing there. All right, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the clip planchet. Let me move these out of the way. So this is one that I found right here. So you can see right here, this coin's in actually pretty darn good shape. It might hit low A, well, it might hit high AU to low mint state, which means on mint state that it never has seen circulation, but I'm guessing more towards AU. There are quite a few dings on the body, but as you can see, just a little clip was taken right here. And a good way to tell is if you got a real one is if you look pretty much on the other side, you're going to see weakening or something strange on there. So like I said, these happen when they put the strips of metal through the machine to where they cut the roundness of the coin. Sometimes they just get misaligned, and when they get cut out, that happens. So that means it's like an edge piece of that metal. Like they're literally long strips of copper. So if they don't get misaligned and they get cut, you get these. And like I said, you can find these even in today's pocket change. So I'm going to put it under the microscope for you guys to just show you what I look for on clip planchets. Sorry, I had to turn the light off on that. So as you can see right here, it looks like it's been cut at the mint, so you can see the weakness of the strike of the L and the I in Liberty right there. And then if you go on the opposite side, you can just see a little bit of weird kind of setup where the strike was at. So this is why I'm leaning towards that one is an actual mint error clip planchet. You can see right there. And then you go to the opposite side, you can see the weakness of the strike. So that's why I'm leaning more towards that. This was done in the mint itself. And, you know, these can fetch a pretty good premium, especially if it's a big chunk out of there. But I could probably get between $5 and $8 for this if I sold it straight out. Don't know on eBay, but it's kind of cool on that. So yeah, there's a clip plancha. That's something, like I said, you can find even in today's pocket change. It's pretty cool. Oh, that's right. That just reminds me of something. Well, didn't really remind. That reminded me of something I just remembered in my last video that I said. The reason why they took out the VDB on the 1909 penny, kind of crazy story. People thought it was just way too prominent on the coin, even though designer initials have been on coins for literally hundreds of years. But for some reason, they just didn't like the VDB on the bottom. So literally within the week, they took that out and put B for his last name of Victor David Brenner somewhere on the penny. I've never even actually looked for it. But the people were in kind of an uproar, and it was kind of crazy that even back in 1909, people collected coins, and they were selling those VDB coins for up to 25 cents a pop, even in 1909. That's cool. But anyways, they brought the VDB back. I think I said 1917. It was in actually 1918 where they brought it back on the shoulder, on the obverse or the front of the coin. But I told you I'd have an answer, and there it is for you. And along that lines, we'll jump into the history lesson today. Today's year is going to be 1949. What is so awesome about 1949, you say? It is the birth year of the most important person in my life, my mother. Hi, Mom, love you. So, yes, thank you, Mom. 1949, my mom's birth year. Now, let's get into some other interesting history. There you go. Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner makes their first appearance in 1949 in the short called Fast and Furious. Furious spelled F-U-R-R-Y. Oh, get it. So yeah, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner first debuted in 1949. Other oddball history. The LPGA was formed in 1949. If you're a golf fan, the Ladies Pro Golf Tour was formed in 1949. A pound of bacon was 49 cents. And here's a big one, kind of crazy at the time. So, start of 1949, the minimum wage was 40 cents an hour. By the end of 1949, the minimum wage was 75 cents an hour. There you go. There's your weird history facts for this episode. So yeah, I want to throw out a huge thank you to family members that have been helping out this channel. Wasn't because of you guys, I wouldn't have pennies to search right now. So thank you very much. I've got new computer equipment coming soon. If you want to help out the channel, if you're enjoying, check out the links in the description. And next week we will hopefully have more pennies, and we'll talk about more varieties. Till then, see you next time.